You said what is working is creating content. Explain to people, why is creating content not just important, but a necessary part of your business now?
Real estate has a lot of ego attached to it. So as people's production goes down and the money in their pocketbook goes down, instead of getting loud, they get quiet. They get embarrassed, so they hide, so they don't make as much content or post as much on social media. And it's a human thing. It's an ego thing. So there's a gap that's being created right now for the real estate broker and for the loan officer too. And for the title rep too. I mean, this is the whole industry. For you to go all in on content and start to take that market share. It's not that cold calling is dead. It's your conversion rates are going down. It's that less people are answering their phone. It's that it's harder to make cold calls today than it was before. We will make them until they don't work. On Wednesday, we had 1,000 dial day. It means if you showed up, you were dialing 1,000 people and you weren't leaving until you were done with your 1,000 dial day. At the end of the 1,000 dial day, we had a 5.88% conversion ratio from dial to contact. All the appointments were written on the board. All the leads were written on the board. They killed it, killed it, killed it, killed it. We would have done 20% more, 30% more just 2 years ago. I've been watching these numbers for almost 2 decades. I know exactly how they sit. That's going to continue to go away because I was chatting with my kids. I got a 17-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Of course, they have cell phones. And I'm bugging them about texting one of their friends. They said, well, why would I text him? What? He goes, well, I sent him a Instagram message. I go, you're texting? He said, no, Dad, that's at the bottom of the list. This is a phone to you. To me, this is just a computer. I'm not going to be a slave to that. And I was like, whoa, there's a shot across the bow at me personally. But second, it was so brilliant. What I learned in that moment, and this is about a year ago, okay? And I went to my friend Benji and I was like, man, I got to fix this now. We won't be able to cold call in 5 to 10 years because my kids, it's not a phone. It's a phone to me because I was raised by baby boomers. You know, we used to have like the extra long cord. So for privacy, you could like take the extra long cord and the whole phone and walk all the way to another room and shut the door. We went to a fancy house that had like a cordless and multiple lines.
People are answering their phones less, hence cold calling doesn't work. When you get a call on your phone, spam calls, sales calls, it's starting to filter it and then you just don't answer anymore.
Yep.
The habit of just answering your phone is getting less and less and less, right? But think about how ironic it is. What are you doing on your phone? You're looking at content all day long. Yeah. The name of the game for attention and ultimately marketing and converting that into business is you have to go where people are. They used to be next to their phone and answering it.
Yes.
They used to answer like anonymous call because it could be someone they know, but they're not. But they're still on the device, right? I guess that's what you would call it now. It's a device.
Yes.
And they're on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. This is why Anton is on all those platforms. They're consuming content. What's funny too is they're consuming content that they weren't consuming back in the day. Yes. They weren't looking at real estate videos. They weren't looking at market updates. But if you know how to work the system, you can show up in front of them. And that's even more powerful because when they are ready to buy or sell their house or invest in real estate, they will remember you. And that's what's interesting about what you said. And I see it all the time because I'm not an agent anymore, and I kind of recognize when they do things and why they do it. What were they doing from 2013 to 2022? Talking about their new house they just built for themselves. Yeah. That really, nice ride they got. Talking about how, it was all the positive affirmations and law of attraction that made them $1 million real estate agent. 2023, quiet.
Crickets.
And what you said was really important. They don't have anything to talk about. They might be embarrassed. They don't want to tell people what's really happening because they think that maybe that could hurt people wanting to work with them. They don't have a lot of leads, no listings, no transactions. But you don't have to say any of that. The name of the game with real estate and content is put out something that's helpful for people that need it right now. Because if it doesn't help the person that maybe watches it or connected to you today, eventually they'll need that content. Just realize that algorithm is so powerful, at least on YouTube, that when they're ready, your video is going to be ready too. You're duplicating yourself. When we say content's working, cold calls aren't, that's like an understatement. The content is not only working, but it is the only way you're going to get people's attention because because people go and look for what they want when they want it. This is why they're not answering their phone. Yep. They don't want to be bugged. They are doing it on their own time. So you have to be ready with your content. I talked to a real estate agent yesterday that I met at the networking thing in Seattle. They're picking me up my brain about starting a channel, creating content. And they're just like, I just don't know what to talk about. So I asked them like 3 or 4 questions, and he answered them like without even a thought. Boom. I was like, those are 4 shorts right there. Yeah. You could probably do at least 1 a day for the next 100 days. And those are all questions that people probably have. And because there's a lack of agents putting themselves out there, cold calling, whatever, and connecting, there's people that actually need that. And with real estate, arguably right now in this economy, there's new info and data and stories coming out all the time that you could just put in your spin. And this other thing too, he was a little embarrassed when he was talking to me because I asked him something about the Fed and he didn't know the answer. I said, people don't care. People don't care that you understand the Fed in an intimate way and know all their inner workings. You just need to know the headline, because 99% of people don't know the headline. I said, the headline of the Fed is what? What have they been doing the last year? It goes, they've been raising interest rates. So like, that's all you have to say. And guess what? Everything else is personality. It's just fun. And it's caring.
I think the thing that you have to add in for the content game, something like cold calling can get a today result, and content can get a tomorrow, the next month, and a forever result. And it's slower. If an agent is struggling today, then yes, we got to do the open houses, we got to do the cold calls, we got to do everything to get the today business. And the content though is going to feed them tomorrow, and that same piece may feed them for 10 years. That's the crazy thing. You could literally put something together, and because I was looking through the analytics, and I know it's probably 8 years ago or 9 years ago, you and I recorded something about talking to a vacant land owner as a script to approach them on how to put a deal together. Randomly out of the blue, that thing just got watched 25 times.
That's crazy.
But anyway, that's so long ago, and someone's still using and recycling that content. What the agent should be doing when they're feeling the beat up from the market, it's okay to say to people, I am beat up. Everyone is starving for genuine, authentic people. They know the market's not perfect. Even if they don't have numbers, they have enough feeling to know the real estate market's not perfect and the economy's not perfect. So it's okay to say that. It's okay to say my income went down, or it changed, or it got harder, because that's the truth. And then by embracing that truth and being authentic about it, I can now use that as my platform to propel me forward in any type of lead generation activity, but it's going to really ring through in the content like we were talking about. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one too.